All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Robert Roy, with Market Mornings, brought to you by WealthBuildersHQ.com. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you would please go ahead and type the number 1 in the comments box. Let me know that you can. I would truly appreciate it. Nothing worse than talking to myself for the next little bit. And no one there to hear all this great information I've got for you. All right. There we go. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. See a lot of familiar names there. Excellent. A couple of newbies as well in the room. So thank you for that. Keep in mind as we go through, nothing is meant to be advice or recommendation. It is all meant for educational purposes only. Right. So make sure that you fully understand a strategy before you go ahead and invest or trade off of that particular strategy. All right. So with that being said, I want to jump in right away and take a look at ES this morning. It has been an interesting day so far. So we've gone ahead. Let me grab the drawing tool. I am actually prepared with that this morning. Here's yesterday's close on the ES, which is the S&P 500 at 5 p.m. Eastern. Here's the open at 6 p.m. Eastern. Yes, we had a 1 hour shutdown basically, and then you're open the rest of the time. So we opened up and we made a little bit of a move up. We went to a newer high from what we had at the end of the day there. And then we kind of drifted off and we went sideways. And we just went into a lull until we got into, go figure, European Open, right? And the Open is not at 2 a.m., but that's when news is starting to come out, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., somewhere around there. And then from there, what happened? We took a nice little climb to the upside from that. And we had a pullback and we went back up again. And now we've got this double top type pattern setting up. Our bottoms are kind of holding flat in there. So we're waiting now, it looks like, for market open to see if we're going to take that next leg up. We're about 6.5 points up, at least before I froze the screen and put lines on it. So we're about 6 points, 6.25 points. ES trades in quarters, points to the upside. So we're looking at what is our next step. Because when we go back and look at a daily chart of the S&P 500, right? Yesterday, all-time highs, all-time closing highs, both of them yesterday. We're on fire. I mean, look at the rocket ship from back here. The catalyst came in on October 13th, and we've just been straight up ever since. 2 days of pullback in there, but even those resulted as new all-time highs, right? And or closing highs in there. So we've overall, good-looking market right now. ES doing what we wanted to do. Good little rise. We look at the Dow, the YM, not as well as what we're doing on ES. We're down 10 points, but not really something that I am concerned with on YM. In other words, I'm not really worried about it being 10 points to the downside. It's kind of flat, right? There's really nothing there. Even 6 points on the ES is small in the grand scheme of things when you think about it, because when we go back here again and look at the S&P 500, oops, let's go back and grab that one more time. We look at the S&P 500, it moves 40 points a day on average. So to be up 6 really ain't no thing, right? There's really nothing there to be up 6 lousy points on S&P, right? NASDAQ is up 52 points right now. So not the same pattern as what we saw in the ES, but we did step into that European Open into all-time highs on the NASDAQ, right? So good rock and move when it comes to Russell. So right now on RUT, I've got my put side of my iron condor done, and I'm waiting on the call side because of the rocket ship we're taking here. We're moving to the upside. I mean, if we go back and look on a daily chart of RUT, let's go here, look at a daily chart, make it full screen. Ooh, TradeStation is just horrible right now. So here's our daily chart, right? So we're at all-time highs. I don't want to write my bear call spread yet. I'm going to wait for a little bit of weakness here. And when I see that weakness stepping in, I'll go ahead and write those calls. So I'm stepping into an iron condor, turning it into a condor, I guess, instead of iron condor. But I'm stepping into that trade legging in instead of doing the whole thing at one time, right? It just gives me more protection on the trade. I'm still looking to pick up my 50 cents on each leg. That doesn't change at all for me. What does change is where my strikes are, right? When it comes to Bitcoin, we're down at 62.25, 62,250 right now. Nothing outstanding about Bitcoin right now. It's there. It is what it is, right? Gold is up to 1792. If we open up gold chart, if we open the gold chart, come on, TradeStation. Thank you very much. Jeez. So we've got some resistance to contend with. Remember, look left, right? We've got some resistance to contend with about that 1797 half level. So just be cognizant of that as we go through. When it comes to crude, they were talking about it before that we've doubled this year already on crude oil. I called it. I said it. I told you it was going to happen. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? Now, we've backed off a bit from where we were, but look what happened yesterday. We went from $80 to $83, or today, 80 to 83 a barrel. I mean, that's a tremendous move, lower than 80, no less, but that's a tremendous move on oil prices. So you can't ask the world to start cutting back and using less oil and take the oil production away between Canada and the U.S., ask Saudi Arabia and Russia to increase oil, and expect that they're going to play nice with you. They know you cut your own nose off to spite your face, so why are they going to help you? I wouldn't. Listen, oh, Saudi Arabia, it's your fault. You need to increase production. No, we don't. We're not increasing production. So sorry you feel that way. Right? So we've got a nice little rise on crude today, and nat gas has got a little bit of a pullback going on. All right, so let's go look at some candidates. All right, so I have, let's trade this. Let's change this over to our first one, which is Regeneron. And then let me go ahead and step in there and change it over to the intraday settings, where we've got the 24-hour settings. It doesn't allow it on TradeStation. It changes over the chart and gets rid of custom settings if you put a symbol in there, like an index, the RUT or something like that. So Regeneron, one of the few candidates on my list today that are not related to earnings, right? I guess they are, but they aren't, right? But this was on overall COVID sales, or income from COVID, right? Basically, because of COVID. So they closed up yesterday about 652, and right now they're trading at 665. So they had a great move to the upside. I will definitely be looking at a bull put spread on Regeneron today. A little bit more expensive option to contend with. I need to open that option chain up just so it's there. A little more expensive option to contend with. But definitely, I'm looking at bull put spread on them today. Now, Planet Fitness, PLNT. Planet Fitness, my only my only disappointment with Planet Fitness is they have monthly options on them. That's it. So they are closed up last night, I don't know, 84-ish maybe. They're sitting at 93. I'll be looking at a bull put spread. I may be looking at a credit spread even on Planet Fitness. So a bull put. A bull put credit spread, but I've got to go out for 15 days. That's my only drawback there. So if we go and look at our daily chart, you just have to determine, are you willing to hold this for 2 weeks? That's really what it comes down to. So Planet Fitness right now is about 93 in the pre-market. So if I do the scrunchity scrunch, we are all the way up here. See what I'm saying? We got a long way to go. I'd like to be down below that 84 level. I just don't know if I can get anything for that strike price on a bull put spread, right? As of yesterday, yeah, there was plenty. 82.50, 80 and 80, 82.50. There was plenty of opportunity. Sell this for 330, buy this for 2.25. Very nice. A 250 spread, I had $1.05 of credit. So I had 35, 40% on that trade. Right now, we've moved $10 in the opposite direction. So we're looking at the 70, 72 and a half. As of yesterday, there was only about 23 cents in there. So I'm not sure if it's going to give it to us or not, right? And I'm not a tremendous fan of the monthlies on it. If there's no weekly available, I'm not a tremendous fan of them. But I will be looking at it to see what it gives me at the open. mRNA is our next one. So they closed up around that 345, 6-ish. They're at 296 and a half. Earnings was the news on it. So we'll be looking at a bear call spread on Moderna. Then we have W, which is Wayfair. So Wayfair or Wobbly, whatever you want to call it today. They closed up about 268 yesterday, 267. They dropped all the way down to about 246, went all the way up to 270, and they're back down again to 252 even right now. I am just not very comfortable with companies that do this, the down, up type thing. I just don't know where the allegiance lies, where my trust factor lies on these positions. So I'll be watching it. If we hold in this direction, I'll be looking at a bear call spread on Wayfair. Booking, better known as not for the faint of heart. Right? So Booking, I will be looking at a bull put spread. Here's our problem with Booking. Many of you already know it. They got weekly. So what's the problem, Rob? Well, first off, if we're looking right now, we're looking at a bull put spread on Booking. So let's go look at a daily chart. And on a daily chart, well, let's see, where are we now? We're about 25.40-ish. Right, we're at 25.40. So we're up here somewhere. Right? So 25.30 is my min, but I'd really like to be down below 24.50. Right? That's really where I'd like to see us down below to find something. I just don't know if we're going to catch anything at this point with 100-point moves that far, 100-point move that far away. So if we're looking at, what do we say, 24.50? 24.50, right? So we've got a 24.50. Look at the bid-ask spread. Now, part of it could be earnings, but just generally, Booking has very high spreads and very low open interest. So it really comes down to, does it fit your risk profile? Are you comfortable with it? I do trade Booking. They're on my list every day to trade. I don't trade them every day, but they're on my list every day to trade. I definitely like them towards the end of the week. They're more of a late Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday trade for me because I can get their options at a much cheaper price. But, things are not inexpensive at this point for their options. Let's see what's going on here. If we look on the call options, we go to a 78 delta. Yeah, so their numbers are off. Let's go look at next week for a second. Their numbers are off. Their puts are way over compared to what their calls are. So if we look at 24.50, so 74 by 82, it's about $8 of bid-ask spread. So again, it really comes down to a comfort play for you. But I'll be looking at, I like Booking. I'll be checking the gap statistics and see what a $100 gap does for me. If it gives any kind of gap fill, I don't believe it will. At least not one I'm willing to trade. But I want to see what the numbers come out to as a potential gap trade first. And I run every one of these through our gap analysis first before I trade them anyway, to see if there's anything like that in there. Right, Roku is next. Now, both of these, Booking and Roku, are two stocks we trade on or in part of power option plays all the time. They came out with earnings last night. They closed up. They were above 310 last night, maybe 12 or 13. Yeah, 313. Right now, they're sitting at 288.5. It was earnings. Apparently, they weren't good, just as an FYI, right? So nice move to the downside. We'll be looking at a bear call spread on Roku for sure. Right? EA, Electronic Arts, is our next one. They had earnings come out last night. They were trading at about 139 or so. And right now they're at 143. So for EA, let's see what we've got on EA. First thing is we do have weeklies available, which is very important. I don't know if we'll get anything for this week on EA, but let's see where we're at. So on EA right now, we are at 143. All right, so we're just shy here. So I'm going to be looking at down below that 141. If I can get down below 136, it would be great. I just don't think so. So 141 on EA. Let's see what that does for us. On the puts. So 141, 450 by 80, not too bad. Low open interest. But if we're looking for a credit spread, we don't care. We do the 140, 141s. As of yesterday, we had 55 cents we could pick up in there. But you got to look. We've moved almost $4. Right? So if we were doing 40, 41s to get 50, call it 50 cents, 40, 41s. If we go $4 the opposite direction and make it 36, 37, we're still looking at, for a $1 increment, if we hold on these numbers, you're looking at 33 to 73, 41 cents. Listen, you're talking about you have 40 cents at risk. You put 40 cents up in the trade. Your maximum risk is $1. You're getting 41 cents. You're getting 40 cents. Your maximum risk is $1. So realistically, the risk that you're taking on is 60 cents. You're getting better than a 50% rate of return based on what your risk is. You're risking 60 to make 40, right? So to me, absolute no-brainer. So, but it just depends how overvalued the options were yesterday before the announcement came out. All right, then we've got Qualcomm. QCOM. Qualcomm. All right, so Qualcomm closed up yesterday 138. Right now they're trading at 157.5. So we'll also be looking at a bull put spread on Qualcomm. Guys, I've only got a couple more left. Drop in the symbols you want me to take a look at, and I will be happy to do so. TTWO. Let's see. TTWO closed up about 184 and jingle. They're right now at 191. Also an earnings play. We'll be looking at a bull put spread. And let's go look at Etsy, ETSY. Oh, ETSY, wrong symbol. All right, so we closed up yesterday about 239-ish. Right, we're sitting at 237. Look, see what's happened, guys? See the move down, the move back up. Not very excited. I am not very excited about this position with that type of move. We'll see what the open of the day does for us, but I am not ready to jump in this one at this point. All right, so just caution there. And then lastly, we've got MGM. Now, MGM, there's a potential buyout for MGM. So, but they came out with the news and said, hey, but we don't have any kind of deal struck. Well, it's almost like we think we're pregnant, but we haven't gotten tested yet, so we're not sure. But hey, we could be hopeful, you know. So I would be very cautious on this one. I didn't bring it up to talk about what I would trade on it. I would bring it up to tell you to be cautious on why I would not be trading this one. All right. So let's see. We got a couple of them up there, a couple of symbols there. We got a few minutes left, so let's go jump in. First one that was in was Frankie put up GM. Let's see. Oh, yes, first GM. Good morning. I heard they make good cars with good morning there. Let's see. All right, old fib right now. So look where we are, Frankie. Look what's going on here. To me, you know, we had a nice run up, we had a good pullback, and we've got a bounce. So do we have some upside potential? We do. My problem is I've got a major resistance level at 57. So for me, I would hold off on it until we can get above that 57. And even there, you got to look at what's happened. Look left, right? We moved up, we pulled back. We moved up, we pulled back lower highs. And then we gapped down on their earnings. So I'm not sure if this is not just a failure off that 57 level and a drop. Let's see, where are we at right now? In pre-market, we got anything on them today? They're sitting at 56.34. So they're right here, Frankie, right? I mean, they're just about at resistance right now. So watch out for those lower highs, that continuation, that second leg down is what I'd be concerned with there. I hope that helps. Linda's Essentials is asking for the Qs. QQQ. I traded this exclusively for about 2 years. This was my trade every single day when I first got started, way back when. So the Qs are at all-time highs right now. 384, 396 is 12. All right, I need to put what's called a Pivot in here, which is a Fibonacci Pivot. right? Basically, I need to split this level in half right here, right? Let's see if I have a negative 1.5. I do not. Negative 1.5. All right, let's try that again. I must have done it wrong. Minus 1.50. Click OK, click OK. Oh, wait a second. I put 1.5, didn't I? That's why. It's got to be negative 0.5. Minus 0.50. There we go. Okay. So we just broke above that 390.06 level, Linda. And what I'd want to see today is a pullback. Now we're up right now in pre-market, right? So if we go back and look at Qs, we're up to 394.5, we'll call it. Right? So we've got 386 as the top. I'd love to see the pullback to the 390, Linda, and the bounce before taking the entry. Otherwise, I'd be looking at pivot points for a short-term intraday play. But that's where I've got a major resistance right now, and that negative 618 is huge. Paul is asking for SPY. Hope that helps, Linda. Let's try that one more time. SPY. All right, same scenario. I've already got a Pivot drawn in there. So I'd love to pull back to the 462.65, Linda, and then the bounce and then move up to 467. Life is good. I mean, I added on this major dip that we had on the S&P. I added to our S&P holdings. I added to my Qs holdings. I did not add to my Berkshire holdings, and I'm not going to. They're just Berkshire B I have shares. They're not doing as well as what I'm getting under the S&P this year. Normally, I like how Berkshire performs, but I will continue on another pullback. I will continue to add to those. So pull back to the 462.5. We're looking at 467.5 as resistance. You're welcome, Linda. Financial preparedness, Intel, INTC. All right. They got a dividend coming out. What are they paying right now? 34, almost 35 cents. So I can snap. Oh, wait, I saw something back here. What was this? Yeah, so this fib is still valid. So let's look what's going on here. All right, so we just ran into what's known as a Fibonacci four-step. We closed below the 764. We did not close below what would be the 882 down here where my horizontal line is. We came back up, retested that 48.78, the 764 fib line, and we're looking at a target of 50.97. So 51 is resistance, right? So we're pretty close to it now. So with that being said, where are we? Look at the moving averages, and our bias is bearish on our moving averages. So if we get back down, financial prep, down below that 8 moving average, we're looking at 48.78 is our downside. It's not giving us much. Could we fill in on the upside? Maybe, but what drove it down was earnings, right? Or the news around the earnings, right? Whether it's chips, didn't have to necessarily be the earnings for this quarter. It could have been, hey, we did awesome, but we're going to stink next quarter because we know what's happening with chips right now. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys got to check this out. You know, we've closed out all of our open trades right now on our Trade with Rob setups. We crushed it on the last 2 trades on Adobe and Coinbase. Since May, starting with a $100,000 account, we're up $19,161. We're up over almost 20%, and we didn't use anywhere near that. There was never a time that we had more than probably $25,000 in trades. We didn't use anywhere near that amount of $100,000. We're up 19 grand. Could you have done it with 50 grand? Sure, absolutely could. Right? Go ahead and check out. We've got some free resources for you. Go ahead and check out on our resources page. It's tradinglikeaboss.com. Click on that trade with Rob. Everything on this page is free. There's nothing on here that's for sale. You can't put a credit card in even if you wanted to. But all of these are resources to help you become better traders. So guys, go ahead and check it out. I hear you, financial prep. Try not to miss that gap fill. I know. That gap is not normally a gap fill for Intel. They normally have a much smaller gap to fill that gap, at least intraday. Will they fill it on the way up? Maybe. I think the chip shortage is really going to make the difference there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, if you like what you see, subscribe. Go ahead and hit the like button, ring the bell. And remember, folks, truly, you are just one trade away. Take care, and I will see you all at our next update. Bye for now.